Good morning. It is June 10th, 2026, and I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and today we are having our FlossTube. Every other Wednesday we have a FlossTube on this channel, and we have a new It's So Emma pattern by Lori Holt. We have a new information on our Christmas stitch along. We have lots of stitchy progress. We have a sale of the month, which is Witchell. If you want to just go ahead and start shopping Witchell, that's on sale this month, and then lots of new stuff. So super excited to get into this live stream. We are live today. Our videos Friday on quilting will be pre-recorded, but this one is actually live. So let me show you our newest release. This is Hometown Neighborhood, the Flag House. So this is the 10th in the series. There are 12 of these. If you're in your club, if you're in the Lori Holt Hometown Neighborhood Club, you will have received this already. We sell this as a paper pattern and as a PDF pattern. It's lots of pages and everything is in color, so it's very easy for you to follow and to see all the stitches. And we do have a thread pack if you want to make this, as well as the fabric. The fabric that Cheryl stitched this on is Farmhouse 25 Count Lugana by Lori Holt. So there are 2 more releases. I can tell you the next one is also super cute. The next one is a Strawberry House if you want a hint to that. And we are gonna do, or Lori's gonna do a parade on her FlossTube channel with all 12 once they're all out. So really pretty, and I love the blues in the house, and I just think this one's really pretty. I haven't stitched any of these. You know, now we're at the end of the series, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back and stitch some. So the next one is actually at the framer. We showed you a little hint already, and then I think Cheryl has another hint for you today on something she's stitching for Lori. So again, Hometown Neighborhood Flag House. Now, I wanted to talk about the Jolly Tree Farm. So in each year, we have a Christmas stitch along that's free. And so we've done that for years and years, free. This year, last year we started, if you want the full pattern up front, you can pay a very low price for the PDF and have it up front in case you want to stitch all of it at one time instead of coming back each week to download a PDF. That was actually Jordan's idea. So this is a hint for it. This is going to start June 29th. So if you want to wait for it to be free, the first part will be free June 29th. There is a quilt pattern and there's also a cross stitch pattern. So both of the quilt and the cross stitch are available as a PDF now, or you just wait till end of June and then you download a section every week. We do have a blog post on the Jolly Jabber with all of this information. It tells you the fabric we stitched on, there is a thread pack, and all the things. So if you want that, that's something new. We got a lot of requests last year, and so Jordan came up with that idea, and I think it's really helpful for people who don't want to have to remember to come back. So that's exciting. Denise is not looking. Oh. No, I know. I was giving a peek because you aren't looking. Sorry. And then, okay, now I'm going to show you my progress. I have gotten a lot done, and this is the Scrappy Americana flag pattern by Lori Holt. You can get it as a PDF or a paper pattern. And I got this all the way finished, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this. So I use Natural Rustico 14 Count Ada by Witchell, which is on sale this month because Witchell's on sale. And, you know, when I first started, I really wasn't sure if the cream was going to stitch, to show up, and it does. And I wasn't sure if I was going to add the letters. I went ahead and added them, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to add these dots. Then I went ahead and added them. And I was a little bit worried about this. I was worried that, my piece was going to be crooked or my stitches weren't going to look good because they're back stitches, and it ended up looking, I was actually really impressed with it, and I was actually happy. So now Denise is going to take this, and there is a Hobby Lobby frame that we're going to frame, she's going to frame it in. And have we already done a reel of the first one?
No, I have to redo it.
Oh, okay, so she's gonna do a reel of how she frames this one if you want to see all of her finishing info. And just like, so you can see it kind of dips there, we'll like pull it a little bit to get it perfectly straight. One thing I like about Ada is I feel like it stays straighter than if you have something over 2. But so I'm really excited about this one. I actually started decorating for like I guess July 4th, etc. yesterday. So that's exciting, and it came out better than I thought it would. I was taking a risk on this fabric. The fabric that is called for right here is Vintage Country Mocha or Oatmeal, either one of those. And this, oh, this one I forgot to say, this one is designed so if you stitch on any 14 count, this will fit in an 8x10 frame so that you won't have to do anything custom framed. The second thing I worked on is the Quilting Bee pins and pin cushions, and this one is going super fast. And all I have left is the little block up here. So what I did on the star is I outlined everything first for the entire thing. And then let's see, I did all the light yellow first and all the dark pink first, and then I just filled in. Super easy. This one, all I had to do was fill in, so it didn't take very much time. It looks kind of funny right there. So I feel like maybe right there I have something off. Do you see that? Zoom in, Jordan. I feel like I might have, I don't know what I did there.
You can really see the contrast with those 2 colors in your tomato with 2 strands than you can in the original with 1.
Yeah, like right there, I can tell my stitches aren't even. There's something weird right there. So I'll put this, to fix that, what I'll do is put it under the little light I use. What's it called?
The Omega?
Omega Halo light. I'll put that in, and it looks like maybe I have some stitches I need to I'll just get the needle and kind of move them around. Of course, like in a frame, I don't think you're gonna notice. But this one, this somehow is really, really fast. So next time I see you, I'm gonna have this finished, and I'm gonna get the kit for the next one so that I can go ahead and do the border. The border, I really didn't think I'd like stitching the border, and I really do. The only thing on this one that I've done differently is in the border piece, because I'm using a different fabric, I'm leaving those white stitches open. I'm stitching on 14 count pale gray gingham, and then the called for is cream and sugar fiber on a whim, 36 count. And so you can see the difference, and Denise stitched this one. And so with the 36 count, she stitched with 1 strand. So if you look,
the tomato's the best one.
Yeah, the tomato is the best. You can tell the difference. Now, I did change the colors on this pin cushion, and I listed the colors last week. They were from the same thread pack. I didn't have to buy anything. Yeah, I mean, this even looks, and I didn't change those colors. So it looks, you can see this is 2 strands, 1 strand, 14 count, 36 count. So it looks totally different. I am going to do all 6 of them and then frame them all at one time because it'll be cheaper that way, I think, and then I'll ask for a discount. So this one, and you know what I did? One thing I do is whatever I think is going to be the most fun, I save that to the end. And I think the log cabin block is going to be the most fun, so I saved that for the end. And you can really see the variegation in Denise's threads right there. And when I do mine, you won't be able to see it because I use 2 strands and I do the loop method. And then Farmyard Friends, I was actually hoping to finish this one. Because I know this one is a sew along that ends next March, but I'm pretty much almost done. So what I did this time was I did the pig and I finished these stars, and then over here I have 1 star left, this and the cow. So I do feel like the cow is a little black. Like I had thought about doing not so black, and it looked good here, but now I feel like this black is like a lot. But once I get the white in there, I think it'll be okay. So you can see really how I outline, you know, as much as I can so I can just fill in.
What floss is that?
The black is, okay, so I use called for, so I think it's black coffee. Let's see. Yeah, it's black coffee.
It looks very rich.
I know it looks, to me it looks different, but on the screen it looks the same as in real life. And I really didn't notice how strong it was here until I did this. This one, once I get this one done, I'm going to get it framed. I really don't know what I'm going to do with this piece because I have really loved stitching it, but it does not fit the decor of my house, nor does it fit the decor of Fat Quarter Shop offices. So I really don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, I guess I could, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't really know anybody who farms, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. But it's been really fun and kind of like a shocking surprise because I really wasn't sure I wanted to do this one. Now this one I stitched on Venetian stone 14 count. The call for here is pebble 25 count, and it ends up looking, it is a little bit different in person. Oh, here it is. Like in person, you can tell the difference, but in like once it's stitched, I really don't see a difference in the two. Oh, someone said auction for charity. Yes, I might. I have some quilts we're going to auction for charity. We always do something later in the year. Let's see. So that's all my progress. Next time, I'm hoping to have the Farmyard Friends done, the pins and pin cushions done, and then that way I can add some new things. Now, one thing I am doing, it's in my suitcase in the car. I'm starting a new stitch tomorrow, and it is the bouquet.
Is it called like
Anna's Basket
Yeah.
Bouquet from JBW Designs. But I didn't want to show it today because I'm not set on the fabric I'm going to do. And if I show it to you and then I change my mind, y'all might complain. And I'm also doing it in NPI. So I'm going to do that, and then that'll be something I show you. So now I get to pass this off to Shelly. I think she has a lot more progress than I do.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start off with my progress on the houses on Stitchery Lane series. So I had jury duty last week.
You did?
I did.
Did you get picked?
I did not. We sat there for hours and then they sent us home.
Did they let you take it?
Did they let me take the? Yes.
Oh,
I took
They
in.
did?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
I took in super. I found the scissors, the smallest scissors I had. I don't have them with me right now, but I mean, the scissors were super tiny. Like I had to really get in there to cut my thread. And nobody said anything. And this was like my 6th time for jury duty, so I had like a whole bag packed. I had stitching, I had a book, I had water, I had snacks, I had a sweater.
You're gonna think hard.
Well, I've done this so many times and I had to stay all day, and I'm looking around at all these other people and they're just sitting there staring into space. I'm like, y'all needed a bag. You should have come prepared for this. I was prepared, but I got this. This was the first house, the Stitchery house. It's all filled in. So that's my progress on there, and just to show you these, and this is our little needle minder that goes with it. I always have this with me. And here are just to remind you, here's what we've released in this, what's been released in the series so far. Stitchery House, Rick Rack House, the Button House, Hot Cocoa House, and this one just came out, the Patchwork House. I really like the colors.
I have a question.
Yep.
Did you end up fixing the situation from
Oh,
a couple
Denise
weeks
is
ago.
ratting me out.
Okay, so she wouldn't show you guys the mistake.
Well,
and you were like, you gotta show.
It was live. I was sitting there and I was showing you guys my progress, and I'm like, uh-oh, is this? And I was upset. I didn't want it to be real, so I didn't show you then. But I had shown you that I went in and put in all of my borders. And while we were sitting here and I was looking at it, I was looking at this one and I was like, this is longer. This is what's going on. And I couldn't see in the moment where my mistake was. And each of the borders ends and starts with this star. And I had put another star. I had put a third star right here. And then there's a line, as you can see up here. It's going to come all the way across, and it comes all the way across here. I had my line in here. So I picked all of this out after stream during lunch when we go to stitch.
And you caught that mistake live.
I caught it live, but I was like, but I didn't know where the mistake was yet. I was like talking and in the moment, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, something's not right, something's not right. And you can still see faintly where that last star was, and it's definitely was. But I've recounted everything, I've gone over everything, I've counted everything else is good. And I just haven't had the heart to go back and put that in there. I'm still upset about that.
Sorry, Shelley,
Oh,
to
no.
bring it back up.
Me and Denise, we didn't realize you caught it live. I thought you knew before the video.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was in the moment because I was like showing you guys and I was like, oh, nope. So, yes.
It looks so good, though.
Thank you. Okay. But this, don't want to lose this.
Did you say what fabric by chance? Or did
Oh.
you say it? I don't know if you did.
This is the sugar cream pie, sorry. 16 count. And it is back in stock. This is a half yard piece. We have it back in stock. So we have these guys again. Completely went blank there.
Before you move on,
Yep.
Shelley, there's a question from Teresa. Do you allow 2 or 3 inches around your piece?
Yeah, I'm like a 1.5 to 2. I kind of fudge it to see. My finisher says she's good with 1.5 often, so that's what but it looks like this one I've got about 2 going here, but this was a nice big piece. But if it's a big piece and I'm always trying to get the most out of my fabric. I do that in quilting, I do that in cross stitching. What's the most effective way to put this on here so I'll have a good sized piece left over? So sometimes they'll fudge it down just a little bit and then sometimes I make mistakes and just hope for the best when it's at the end too. So
It looks good.
thanks. Okay, next I'm going to show you my stitch crypt progress that I've been working on. Okay. So I showed you I'm putting 6 different stitch crypt on this piece of cloth. So this guy, you've seen this one, this is Spooky Blooms. This one is finished. This one is the Summerween Cherry. I don't honestly remember what my progress was last time, but I think I didn't have any of this filled in, and I didn't have the middle, and I finished up the jack-o'-lantern faces. And again, I love how Stitch Crypt uses their colors. There are a lot of colors in each
Those are
pattern,
nice.
but it
Those
just,
are good.
I mean, it's probably really hard to see, but there's a little accent color coming through here, and it's only going to be about 20 stitches, but it's going to make a huge difference in the end. And just like down here and in these jack-o'-lantern faces, there's so many colors, but I think it's totally worth it in the end.
Because you have that many colors, or do you preload your thread, or you like change out each time?
I just change as I go. It seems fast for me, and I just keep going. And then we have the little rainy day ghost, and I had finished the ghost in the umbrella, and I just needed to finish up the little puddle
Looks good.
down here. I really like that little guy and the bats, and just again all the little details. I didn't realize at first they were bats, and then one day it just hit me, those are bats. Just like I said last time, I didn't realize there were skulls in the umbrella, but there's little skulls in there. And then again, how I'm gonna finish with the rest of this, let's see where's my cheat sheet? Okay, so I'm gonna put the Halloween house underneath this guy. And then I'm going to do Feral and Spooky under here, and under here is going to be Happy Haunting. I think that's my plan.
How do you think
No,
you're
that's
gonna
not my
finish them?
plan. Sorry. This is my plan.
Oh, are you gonna leave it in one piece?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I'm just going to keep stitching on it. It's a nice dark color. Reminder, this is Night Sky by Fiber on a Whim, and this is the 16 count.
Remind me, I have some black kind of like gothic frames that match the one piece that we did for one of your
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes,
house.
I have one similar to that, that's small, that I got on clearance at Michael's
Okay.
last year when they did the Halloween, that I think would look really good with those rainy day ghosts.
I was thinking something along the lines of those. The gothic black frame would look good with
I'll send you a
these
picture.
guys.
So you're stitching it in one piece, but you're gonna finish on a 6
I'm gonna
individual.
yes.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it together, stitching on it, and then my finisher will cut it into 6 pieces, and we'll see.
What I like about Shelly though is like when she gets her fabric, like she utilizes literally every inch of that piece. Like I get a yard and I just like cut off a section and then I'm like stitching with a blanket pretty much. But like when you get your fabric, like you use literally every inch of it.
And it wasn't the plan. I just started with this guy, and then I love these patterns so much. And when we got them in, I was just like,
I need a ball.
I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to fill it up. Fill it up. Okay. Okay, here's these. Here's this. And then I started something. I saw a discussion, I think it was on Facebook for the Stitch Squad, about using the DMC Eco Vita organic wool thread, and I just stopped everything and I wanted to try it. So this is Pot Shop. Let's put it over here by Satsuma Street, and I love it. I love how it looks. I love how it turned out. This is the 14 count. This is the off-white. I couldn't remember if it was off-white or cream. Off-white Cosmo, and I think it worked great. The wool moved through it so well.
Do you have a skein?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in that pink bag under the table over there. I'll pull them out. And I wrote down all of my tips and tricks, and I read a whole bunch on. It was on a Saturday morning. Thank you, Lucia. On a Saturday morning,
You should show that on camera, that whole thing right there. You got it.
Okay. So I've got my. She wants me to. Whoa, it's giant. This is the Big Daisy bag, and on the inside, I just put all of my bags into it, and so this has 3 project bags, my notebook where I keep everything. Plus, I'll show you in a minute. There was a shoebox in here too. Everything was in here. So okay, this is my book that I'm using with these. This one uses 14 different colors. Here they are. My first thing that I needed to check is I needed to find a needle with a big enough hole that we could thread it without shredding the wool. So I tested a bunch that we have here. I'm getting a lot of stuff on here. Okay, so all these are tapestry needles. We have all of these here. This is the Bowen 22. This is a Colonial Petite 22, and then the Tulip 22. All of these work great. The eye was big enough. They did not shred going through it, and then the fabric just glided through it the whole time I was using it. I was really excited to do the petites because this is what I use 90% of the time. Anyway, I switched between Kimberly's and these petites. And these felt really big in my hand at first, so it was nice to switch back to these. So I wrote down a few things that jumped out at me when I was working with it. This thread it's equal to like 3 strands of the regular DMSTRI that you would pull out of a 6 strand. So that's what we're looking at. So it really fills your spaces. I used the 14 count. There was a lot of suggestions to use 20 count, and you would go over 2, or use like a 10 count. I just thought they looked really pretty on the 14, and I thought it would work well, and it did. I think it worked well. It really fills up the spaces. You only want to pull one length. This is what I found worked the best, because that way you're not shredding the wool when you're pulling it through. It's not getting fuzzy. This was the easiest to work with. You'll also, because it's eco dyed, it's like dyed with like rhubarb or walnut is what they're using for the dyes. So you will have a lot of variation.
I don't know what rhubarb is. She's looking at me like, what is that?
Like rhubarb pie?
Is it fruit?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a vegetable. You don't have.
No idea
Yeah,
what it
it's got long, beautiful red stalks and giant leaves on top of it that are poisonous, but the stalks are not, and you make like dessert out of them. I'll have to make you some rhubarb crisp. I lost my train of thought. So there's variation, there's natural variation, natural modeling, and then because it's wool, you're also going to find spots where it's thin and not as thick as other spots. I found it to be just as durable, but I did use the go across and come back method. What is that method called?
Danish?
Is that Danish? Okay, I didn't do complete X's. I went across and came back. If I was starting someplace, where there weren't any other threads, I did the loop method to start it. But if I was near threads starting a new color, I would just slide it under a few to start. It held it securely and finished the same way.
So you're using 2 strands?
No, you just use one.
So how would you do the loop method with one?
Do you want me to
I've
show
never
you?
seen it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're putting me on the spot. Let's see if I had never stitched with one strand before. This was the first time that I'm gonna have to take off my glasses to thread this and everything. Okay, here we go.
I was gonna say, as you thread, if you need talking, people are saying that rhubarb pie is delicious. So we're apparently missing out here.
Oh, and I do see a question. I stitched over 1 on the 14 count. I did not stitch over 2. Okay, can you see this? So the X, the square that you want to start on, you go to the top left. I hope I do this right. You come down, leave a little tail, and you hold it. And then you come back through the top right all the way. Then you go back in the top right, and you make a loop. And then you come down to the bottom left. Bottom left. Oh, I dropped it. Okay, bottom left. Pull it through. Come back through the loop that you made. Pull it. And then come back through the top, right? Little pull, and your knot's on the back. And there you go.
What?
Y'all need to make y'all should do a reel of
Do it
that.
again.
I'm still confused.
Do it again.
Well, she's got to start over, right?
Yes. Sorry, Shelly. I think I just.
Now, did you look on YouTube to find this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, yes.
This is a lot easier than like the pin stitch.
And I was texting Cheryl, and I was like, please send me a picture of what your needle looks like once it's threaded. Because I honestly, I couldn't understand, what you did with your tail once you got going. But you just leave it a tail, and you don't pull it all the way off. Okay. So this is the square I'm choosing. I'm trying to make. So you choose your square, top left. Go down.
Top left, go down, okay.
Leave a tail. I hold down my tail, and then I come back up the top. Trying to make it so you guys can see. The top right.
Okay.
You're holding your tail. I pull it all the way through. Then I go back in that same hole I just came up, and I make a loop. You make a loop. Got a loop here. Then I come to bottom left. Don't pull it all the way through because you'll lose your knot, your loop. Go into your loop, pull it all the way, then go back in the top right, and then you gently pull that little knot to the back.
And then what do you do with this?
I do a few stitches, and then when I'm back here, do we have scissors out in the drawer?
Not in this one.
Oh, they're in here somewhere.
Like, do you just cut it once you're coming back?
Yeah, I want to just show you a couple stitches. Ugh. Because I did find that you need to cut it before you get back there because it will have, because it's thicker, it doesn't just like go away. It still leaves some fuzzies out there. Okay, so let me turn around and come back.
So this is how you stitch normally, going in one direction and
Yes.
then coming back.
Okay, so I'm coming back. Where did those, oh, thank you. And so I came in here, I cut it off, and I don't know if you could see, it just leaves a little bit of fuzzy up there.
Oh, yeah.
That one's not as bad. Some of them were, but if you cut it, at first I wasn't cutting it and I was cutting it off once I was done, but if you cut it beforehand, I'm getting caught up in my other thread. You can, it tucks anything that was sticking up from that tail back down.
Interesting.
So,
I'm gonna have to try that today.
And so you're really starting with very short strands. Like these are like 12 inches, right?
those are just my leftovers ones
Oh.
because there's some spots, but
Oh,
actually, so this
leftover.
one,
It's probably
so
like, what, 9 inches?
so it's more like this. This is what I was starting with. These were like my leftovers because there are a few spots on here that just use one, and so I was saving because I save.
See how big that
Okay.
is?
Oh yeah, that's 12 inches, 12 and a half inches. Yeah, so just one pull off of there. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else I wrote down.
And so this
here.
is like,
Oh, Jordan, can you zoom out a little bit?
it's really cool looking because it's got like a little texture look to it. And then you can kind of see it in the stitches because I saw this last week when she was working on it and I'd never seen anything with it. So it does to me have a totally different look than a DMC or a class. It's much thicker and you can see the texture a little bit.
And I thought it was going to be really fuzzy, and I'm not finding that. And and I also thought it was going to be really hard, that it wasn't going to glide well, but it glides well. It's got really good coverage on this size.
And being that your needle is a size 22, you mentioned this earlier, you didn't see it like change your whole size in your Ada or anything.
Oh.
Just because, you usually stitch with a size 26 on 14 count, like normal.
Yeah. Yes. No, I was worried about that with the bigger needle, but no, I didn't find that anyway. And I think that's something I like about this Cosmo anyway, is I like the definition because it's so easy to stitch on, and I think it filled up. This filled the squares really, really well. It does twist very easy, so I did find I was dropping my needle a lot more often to let it untwist. So keep that in mind. It definitely lets you know, and it's a little bit harder if you get a knot in it to get the knot out for sure. I think that's all the tips I had written down about this. Are there any questions? Did you see? We do carry this floss. Yeah.
It's called Echo Vita.
Yeah. Oh, and so over here, I got started because it's going to fit. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff out here. Okay. Sunnyside. She uses the same 14 colors as in Pot Shop. So and I'm definitely going to have enough to do the Sunnyside. So these will fit on this piece of fabric perfectly, these two. Okay, I think that's everything from here.
You did mention it was one ply, correct? The thread, like you're not supposed to separate
You're
them?
not, you're not supposed to separate this. It's like, you can untwist it into two, but when you sew with this, no, you don't want to. I think that's why I became interested in it. Somebody was separating hers and couldn't figure out how to work with it. And then somebody else mentioned in the comments, you don't separate it. And I was like, I need to go see this.
You have a couple more questions.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I don't think there's, somebody's asking, would you wax this wool thread? I don't think I would. I think it would probably get a little junky on here and get a little crumbly. I don't think it would do well on here. And honestly, I never felt that I would have needed anything like this. So, yes, she has, I believe, yes, she has conversions on the inside to regular DMC and Cosmo. So you can change that.
And then someone asked if you use the sewing method, which is what Kimberly uses. Do you stick and stab or do you scoop when you stitch?
I stick and stab.
Okay.
Is that what you do normally?
I don't ever scoop.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's how I think like sewing method, like you're scooping.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
go in and go out.
I stick and then stick and stab.
I don't scoop. And just now, like, I was thinking to myself, I was stitching, I was like, how does Kimberly do this without a hoop? I was like, oh my goodness, this is so, I need my hoop, but that's going to take too long. Okay, let me scoot this away. I have one last thing to show you. Thank you. Okay. Those are mine. Somebody had asked after last week's video how I store my DMC, and it is not fancy. This is just a, I think they call it like a shoebox at Target. They're usually like $1 or $2, and they're all over my house trying to organize, stuff from forever. And I just use, I do have the floss bags. I have Floss Away and Floss Pack, it looks like, 2 different brands. If that's 2 brands or not, I don't know. And I just write the number on it, and then I just have them in these boxes. So nothing fancy. They are in number order. And if I have, leftovers when I'm done too, if it's significant, I'll stick it back with back in the baggie, but that is all I do. And I have these are hidden away in a closet, so they're just stacked in number order, and I just grab what I need, and maybe I have it, maybe I don't. So
You don't keep a spreadsheet or anything.
oh no.
And it's all in one box or several boxes?
No, that's probably in 6
Oh, okay.
boxes. I'm lucky I have a sewing room in my house, and there was a closet in it that was like just made for a crafter, and it's all shelving.
Oh, that's awesome.
A walk-in closet that's just shelves. I realized lately the way I want to store my future project is hanging, and I don't have a hanging rod in there, so I do need to install one of those, but otherwise it's the perfect closet, and these are just stacked in there. So that's how I do it, and I think that is, oh, thank you. That is all from me. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Shelley. Cheryl's going to show us her project. It looks like she has lots of items to show us.
Not really lots. I didn't, good morning. I didn't get a lot done, and now we're into June, and I really didn't do anything for Mania, except I I realized the month of May was just about gone, and I hadn't thought about Mania. I know several people have done things. I thought I will get 2 or 3 new starts. So here is just a little sneak peek of what most of my time has been spent on. There's a little bit. So between the sample stitching, which that is, and I don't even remember when this is supposed to be released, or I know I need to have the sample finished by the end of June, so, but I'm getting close. So I guess each of these pieces has very, very small start, just because I did not have that much time since the last time. But this is Bent Creek's Puppy Dog Row, and this is for a baby gift. So I think the last time I showed it, I had a little bit of this long leg of the letter J here. So I did complete that, the K and the L, and started on the next little puppy dog. And the friend whose daughter is having the baby, we were discussing it the last time I saw her, and I had stitched a little thing with her, with the baby girl's name on it 3 years ago. So I told her this is completely different and a much different size. So we were talking about framing options or finishing options, and I told her kind of what I had in mind. And this baby's great-grandfather owns a ranch and has a barn that they fairly recently tore down, and he has some, I think I will use a piece of barn wood, so that would be this grandbaby's great-grandfather. So that's what the plan is, maybe for that. So I don't know that I will get to show it fully finished, aside from maybe just a photo, but put a few stitches. The other things, I just put 2 or 3 strands of floss in each of these things, just between eye surgery and sample stitching, and I just didn't get a lot of progress. Did a little bit on a Spooky Bite. This was a new start, I think. I don't believe I had this start. No, I know I didn't have this started, because
I like
this,
how she says a few stitches.
well,
That's a couple hundred.
that's probably.
That's a whole week
That's-
progress right there for me.
The fabric, on at least what I'm seeing, is reading very blue, but it's gray. This is 32 count vintage Stormy Night. So it's one of the printed fabrics, you know, solid on the back side. And actually, too, this is a restart. I had probably from here on the moon, maybe down about this far. I started it on a fabric that I thought I would really like, and after getting that yellow moon on there, I didn't like it. So I decided to go with the vintage Stormy Night. Purposefully chose 32 count for a couple of reasons. I wanted the good color saturation on the black. I did not want to do it on a 40 count because of the size. I have purchased the frame for it already, not the frame that's pictured on the pattern, but it looks sort of like a Gothic house, and needed to be 32 count to fit that frame. So that is a Spooky Bite, 2 strands over 2 because it's 32 count. It's all DMC, all called for DMC. And then this was my next new start, which is Stitch Crypt, and it's Hallowed Be Sampler. I showed, I believe last time, what I anticipated using, and it is a beautiful fabric and would have been perfect. But I told Shelley a story, and then she laughed at me, and I heard her repeat it to someone else. I was
Me.
in my call it my my sewing room, and that happens to be where my exercise bike is. And one day that it was raining and I couldn't walk, or chose not to walk outside, I got on the exercise bike, and I'm kind of beginning in the process of reorganizing my fabric. And I had several stacks of fabric, and I turned my head at one point to look, and there was a little stack of fabric in just a little corner of this green fabric sticking out. So I could see like about this much of fabric right here. And I thought, I had forgotten I had that fabric. That might absolutely be perfect. So yes, it is greener than it's reading. It's pretty close to the color on the pattern. It is 32 count as well. Again, a couple of reasons. That's the only count that I had this particular fabric in, and so much black and dark gray. I really wanted good coverage. So it's 2 strands over 2 as well. And again, I think I've said before, several factors go into my fabric choice. Sometimes it's color, sometimes it's specific count, like the little Bent Creek rose. I purposefully do on 28 count because they're so tiny in height. I choose because of the size of what the finished piece will be. So several things go into the decision. And since we're talking too about new starts, we among us have had this discussion too about having so many things started, so many works in progress. One reason that I like to have quite a few things in progress, to me, the most time-consuming thing is fabric decisions. So it takes such a long time sometimes to gather supplies, make the decision on what fabric I want to use, then gather your floss, measure. I use a corner gauge and decide where I'm going to start. If I go ahead and start something, even if it's half a dozen stitches, it's ready to pick up and stitch. And I don't spend all that time gathering supplies, deciding on which fabric. So yes, I have many, many, many things with barely a start, but one of these months I will do a focus month and work on nothing but things that I have started. But I thought, okay, I let Mania kind of slide this year, so I need to do 2 or 3 little starts. So this one is America's Grand Celebration. It is by Artful Offerings. And this is 20 count vintage country mocha, so it's 1 strand over 1 being 20 count. The little bit that I have done, obviously it's easy to see where on the pattern, I didn't want to count down. I wanted to actually get some color. I am thinking that I will not do this outer border. It's a whole row of blue and a whole row of white, a whole row of red. I think that I will omit that outer outline and just do the inside. And this is called for threads are all Gentle Arts. Some of them I had, a couple of them I bought here, a couple of them I will substitute. The blues are Gentle Arts. The lighter blue is Dungarees, the darker blue is Freedom, I believe, and I really like both of those. The star calls for Gentle Arts Straw Bonnet, and it's a very yellowish cream, and I decided, particularly because of the color of my fabric, I wanted it to be whiter. It's also called for, I believe, in the Goose's Wing, and I may use that for that wing rather than the white, but the star I did want it to be whiter. So I don't often change or substitute many colors, but sometimes I will, depending on fabric or just the look that I want. This also calls for Gentle Arts Tomato for the red. It only uses the one red, and it's a very orangey red. So I am going to substitute Weeks Dye Works Louisiana hot sauce for anything that's stitched in red. So that's one of my little starts that I can say was a mania. Both of the Halloween pieces were starts. And then this one got the least amount of attention, but I did want to get a few stitches in. You can see I have a threaded needle still. I was stitching on it last night, and it got so late I had to put it away. I was hoping I could finish this little fence, but I lack a couple of the little areas right here. So what I have done since you saw it last was I finished the B-scap. I did a little bit more of the green here, put the white in the little basket. This is another red flower here. I just got the white stitches in. So I did probably, that might be 100 stitches or so. I'm not sure. I'm not one to count stitches. And this fabric is a 40 count. That was from my stash. So I'm using one strand over 2 on this one. So you see today I had fabrics all the way from 28 count to 20 and 40 counts. So size of the project helps me determine sometimes what size fabric I want to use as well. So American Sampler you have seen several times, and I'm thinking probably in July my focus will be working largely on this piece, and then the little, and I did fail to mention on America's Grand Celebration, it comes with, they call it a bonus pattern. It's exactly the same, except it does not have the years at the top. I believe it says Independence Day, and then down here, rather than 250th, it says July 4th, I believe. So at present, I'm undecided. This American Sampler was what I thought I would do as the 250th piece. So I may do the July 4th on this one and Independence Day rather than the years. But as I'm able to work on it, I'll share with you what I decided on that. So that is all for me this week.
Do you have any, are there any questions in there?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
What type of tapestry needles do you use?
Well, I still have quite a stash of Pat's favorite needles, so I use those in size 26. I have some of Kimberly's in size 26. On higher counts, I use size 28, and my favorite 28 is the Edmar.
And then you kind of touched on this a little bit. Well, from Kathy, what do you base your choices of fabric on? They always look so good. Do you try to match the pattern cover? Like, do you start, like if they stitched it on a brown or a pink,
Right.
do you start there, or it's just literally whatever?
It really depends on the look that I want. Very often I do try to choose something that's close to the photo, but so very often the photo is not true color. So you might, I have before had the exact called for fabric in my stash, and it looks nothing like the cover photo because of lighting, I'm assuming, is the main reason that happens so often. So a lot of the time, yes, I want something that looks like the cover photo because that's what drew me to it usually in the beginning. I'm thinking of, let's see, from Market, the Amazing Grace by With a Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais'
yes.
Amazing Grace.
Yes.
The called for fabric was something that had no pink cast to it at all, but the photo looked pink.
It looked pinkish,
and
yes.
pinkish. And when I pulled my floss, I had some pale pink fabric and I put it on that. It was beautiful on it. And I liked the cover photo. So very often, if I really love the cover photo, I will I will do that. And then I guess secondary to that would be the color, the floss.
Yeah.
I do a floss toss and make my decision from there.
Cheryl, I'm going to ask you this question just because I think you'll be the best on explaining it. So Dawn said, FQS team, you are amazing to teach so much. She would love learning how to start with one. She loved Shelly's technique of how to start with one strand. Could you explain how stitch counts are calculated?
How stitch counts are calculated. I'm not sure I understand
How many stitches per inch?
what you mean. Stitches per
It's either
inch?
stitches
Is that
per
what?
inch, or like when you're looking at a pattern that it's 119 by 120 high.
Okay.
How do they get that 119?
How do they get that 119?
Dawn, if you want to chat back as to clarification, is it based on your fabric counts or is it the actual like chart stitch count?
Okay. So if we're talking about the chart, for instance, this one, the stitch count is 215 by 315. So if some patterns are really good to list what size that finished design is from that stitch count on a particular count of fabric. If you, for instance, on this one, 215 by 315, if you wanted to see what size it would be on a 14 count, you would divide each of those numbers by 14, and that would give you that's the design size. Then you decide how much margin around the piece you want to use.
So when you say design size, the width is
The
the
actual
furthest stitch
stitch.
from the left and the furthest stitch to the right.
Correct,
would
that
be
is your
width.
design area, right. So if you calculated it to see, I want to use 14 count, and you came up with your sizes, and you cut your fabric that size, you would have stitches right up to the very end. You have to add your margin. So let's
Okay.
see if that answered,
The question.
if that was the right question, if I answered it
And then
correctly.
a question to all of us by Rachel. Does the Stitchy staff feel like we've stitched more since we've been sharing on the live streams? Shelly's giving a nod, yes.
100%. Yeah.
Have I been stitching more? No. I stitch like that all the time.
I feel like for me, I'm more consistent with stitching, and then I found out I have way too many ideas and not enough time.
Not enough time.
Like that's been the
Between
issue
like
with mine.
sewing, crocheting.
Yeah, between
Right.
sewing, crocheting, stitching, I don't have enough time. Oh, Cheryl, before you go too far, Dawn responded.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, like it's about 200. If something's about 200 stitches, how did you know that? If something's about 200 stitches, like on the pattern.
I thought it was like when she said I stitched about 200 stitches.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
So the patterns will always list the stitch count.
Like you don't physically count those.
I don't physically count those, no. I do trust the pattern, the stitch count, right. And then when you start stitching though, like over 2, if you're not stitching on Ada and you're stitching over 2, you have to remember, like the 40 count, that means there are 40 stitches per inch, or 40
Right.
threads, 40 squares per inch. So to calculate your design size, you wouldn't divide that number by 40, you would divide it by 20 because you're actually covering 2 squares, if that makes sense. You didn't ask that,
Yeah.
but I thought that might be
I'm
helpful.
gonna open this real fast, but I'm gonna cover it. So if you want to know, and well, that's not big enough. Hold on. Sorry, Alacia, I'm
No,
totally
you're
like
good.
using your stuff. I don't want the chart. So when you look at a pattern, our patterns, we give you the stitch count. Like, oh my word. Here, 126 wide by 98 high. So if you open up the chart, I am so sorry, Alicia. If you open up the chart, each grid line here is 10 inches. So if you count 10, 20,
10 squares.
10 squares. So you count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 126 wide. So then if you did the same this way, that would get you, what was it, 96? So that's how essentially the designer ends up finding the stitch count, is based by your furthest stitch from the left to the right makes your width. The furthest stitch from your top and your bottom creates the height of your piece. And then now I'm gonna pass this over to Alicia. Sorry for damaging
You're
that.
good. Good morning, everybody. So I'm gonna start with my shepherd's year. I'm doing May currently, and like previously I've shown for my April, I always start with the border and then I make my way in. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for this one. I'm stitching this on Cream and Sugar 14 count by Fiber on a Whim. And yeah, I'm like, that's
When are you picking your trim with it? Are you gonna pick them after, or like, are you gonna
Probably-
batch pick?
probably match pick. So whenever I finish all of, well, I want to finish them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But since we're doing that stream next week, I might try to do a couple more. Also, whatever we carry, because I know certain colors, I'm like, it doesn't really match. So I need to
Like, you need to
physically
see.
go and
Yeah.
see and pick. Because I do like how I did for the January. I kind of contrasted. I did the dark blue trim and a light blue backing. So I want to kind of do that for all of them, but it depends what we have, what I can find.
I will say, when you're doing a series like that, I know when I do Kimberly's, I tend to wait until she's completely done with the series
Mm-hmm.
to then just like batch it out, because you do it once and you know what you did, but then you're not going to do it again for
Yeah.
another month or 2 months. So it makes it easier while you're in the zone to knock out like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be watching the Cherry Love
Finishing.
finishing, because that's what I watched to do my January one. But yeah.
It looks good.
Oh, there's a question. Have you decided how you will finish your shepherd's year? So my first one I finished January in a pillow. So I'm doing all of them in a pillow. We'll see how that goes. I did learn from the first time to stuff it more. The first pillow I made didn't have a ton of stuffing. Because like Denise has said before, like you don't realize how much, like, what is it, polyfill?
Polyfill.
Polyfill that you need until you actually do it.
I did
Oh, yeah.
learn, I want to say it was from Hands-On Design from Kathy. I think it was her FlossTube. That since it's people usually, or some people do iron their pillow when it's done, like after it's fluffed, because it's polyester, so it kind of does like shrink a little bit with the heat. It doesn't gets a ton smaller, but it kind of like evens out anything. So like when I say I overstuff, like it looks literally horrendous. And then once I get everything in and I shake it out, I give it like a little light press just to have some of that polyester shrink and it not look so like lumpy or like too fluffy. So you can always try that too.
We'll see.
I'm here.
I
if you
know.
need
I'm like
me.
anything I need cross stitch related, I always go to Denise. So this is Pink Coat Santa by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching this on Pink Sand 28 count by Witchelt, and this fabric is on sale if you want to grab it. Progress I've made here is I've filled in all of the bottom here of his coat and made my way up, and then I started on the pink of the coat as well. And I keep saying it's going to take forever, but I really don't think so. I mean, when I was stitching this, I was like, oh, I'm already like here on this side, but I still have all that to do. But I really like this fabric and the colors on this fabric. I think it's really, really good. But that's all of my progress for Pink Coat Santa. I'm hoping to have this done by the end of the year, so we'll see. And then last piece I have is Whimsical Quaker by Primrose. This is a stitch finish, and I don't know if you can really tell, but I learned how to backstitch today,
Let
this
me see.
morning.
Today.
Let me see how she literally came in my office like an hour before stream, and she had everything ready, like thread, and she's like, "Can you show me how to backstitch?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
Thank
It looks
you.
really good.
I'm a very beginner cross stitcher. I've barely been cross stitching since December of 25. So
It looks so. You did so
Yeah.
good on this one.
this is a stitch finish. The only progress I had last time was the top row, so I really focused on this piece. That's another thing, when I really like a pattern, I'll give all of my time to that one pattern and not really to anything else until I finish this. But I really like how this turned out. This is on Meadow Dot 14 count by Stitchery. I love her fabric as well, like Shelly and Kimberly. And I like how it kind of aligns, like the dots are on the outside, like it kind of lined up. I didn't plan it that way. I don't even measure, margins, nothing. I don't do none of that. I just
pick a
I'm like,
spot
pick a
and start.
spot, and if it works, it works. But no, I was kind of worried when I started this piece, because I was starting it and I was like, what if I don't have enough room, like to the bottom? So I literally counted, well, to make sure that I had enough room, and I did, thankfully. But yeah, that's my Primrose Cottage, and I am thinking I want to try to finish this on the white scallop board that we carry. I
yes.
think it'll fit. I'm gonna pull one to see
I
if
have one
it
in my
fits.
office if you need one
So
to measure.
I'll check after stream. And then that's it for my progress.
I'm impressed how you have that, you just guess, and it's basically
Yeah,
in the middle.
I
That's pretty good,
I
that's
don't
good.
I don't measure nothing. I should learn. I don't know. I just don't.
So you cut your fabric before you started.
Like, if I'll look at the finished size and I'm like, okay, I'll cut like 3 inches more than what the finished size says.
And then you just start wherever.
And then I start wherever, yeah. I do want to show really quick.
Oh yes.
So we recently got in the Daria Makes products. I'm going to show one. Denise is going to show the other ones. But this is called the Universal Grime Guard. And it's magnetic, so it snaps closed. I do want to show, because they sent us samples, and I've been using this with my Pink Coat Santa piece since we got the samples. To stitch, I do use a Q-snap. This is the 8-inch Q-snap, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my piece on here really quick. I'm just gonna pick a random spot. I'll just do here. I feel very on the spot right now. It's not gonna be, I'm just trying to do this quickly. Where did my other piece go? So this is not even straight, like I literally just, yeah. So what I use this for, whatever side that I have the most fabric on, so like this top side, I'll roll it inwards, and then it'll be like that at the top. I'll use this grime guard and I'll just snap it here. So it kind of just gets it out of the way. I like it more when it's on this side, but like I said, I'll roll the side that has the most fabric, and then with this, I'll just roll it and clip it to get it out of the way. Because I really like all of my fabric out of the way and not in my way when I'm stitching. So that's really how I use it. You can also use it as like a needle minder.
Would people use 4 of those or just one? Like,
I'm thinking about getting another one to go with my Pink Coat Santa so I can do this side.
You're right-handed.
Right.
So you hold the hoop with your
So-
left.
Yeah, well, I hold it like this.
Okay.
But like I said, whatever, there's not enough fabric on
Yeah.
this side to roll it up.
is it to cover the oil on your hands or just
Yeah,
to
it
cover?
helps with like preventing it to get dirty.
Yeah. That or like Alicia had like, say, a ton of fabric on the left side, she
Yeah.
could put it on the left and then her hand was touching that
Like,
cloth.
It'll be holding like here.
Oh, I'm gonna mess with that real quick and see what I can do.
But yeah, I really like this.
I want to
product.
see this. Hold on.
Like if you rolled up yours.
So if because I don't use a hoop. So if I was doing this little piece right here and I wanted to get all of this out of the way, first I need to take off the needle minder. So if I wanted to get all this out of the way, could you put it there?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
And then you just put it.
and then it just snaps.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so, oh, I need this. Hold on, Jordan. I know I'm driving Jordan crazy. Yeah, and it's, so let's put the dimensions on the website. Let me see what that is.
No,
At first I was thinking that's kind of small, but it's really not. It's like the size of your hand. So it's like
Yeah.
5 inches by 3. Yeah, and then it's just where you put your, oh, and then you can kind of grab it. Oh, I need
It's
this.
3 inches in half, like folded.
Yeah, and half folded. So, ooh, I'm gonna get some of these. Well, I saw it on the website and I didn't know what it was, and I saw it this morning and I had to ask them what it was. So that's so embarrassing that I didn't even know how to use it.
And then that's all from me. Denise is next.
Well, we're talking about the other notions we carry. I'll transition into that first. So we picked up, these were by request from one of you. They're parking bobbins. And then a cross stitch pattern helper. I'm trying to say these names right in case y'all search. Or a floss organizer. I'll put it this way. And they come with these stickers. So I'm going to talk about the floss organizer first, just because it also will lead into my progress. So right now I'm working on one of the quilting bee pieces. This is for the August shipment. So when I do that, I have all my needles loaded.
You do?
Yes. So they're all,
How do you know what color is what? Hold on.
well, because this is already the 4th one, I have them like pretty much memorized.
Wait, and they don't get knotted up?
I mean, not
Then-
particularly. Oh, that's an empty needle. There's
So
another
you just
empty.
like look and you're like, okay, I think it's that green. I'm gonna just pull it.
Yeah,
it's already
like
threaded.
there's only one light yellow, and that's ginger snap. So then I'm like, okay, do I have a light yellow? And I don't. This is the dark one. This is
Oh.
honeycomb or
So you just
whatever.
load like a couple at a time and they're just sitting there.
So that way, because when you're doing the piece, like there's, especially like if you look at like the log cabin block that you're about to do,
Yeah.
like for me, because I'm doing one strand, this goes a long way. So I use about like half of the strand. I'm not going to throw that away. Like I just leave it on the
Oh,
needle
okay.
until I need to find that color again. So just so y'all know, if y'all are doing 36 count, I literally started with one thread pack. And this is how much I have still. I have had to get in a couple colors like Pebble Beach, Baking Tin, because that was like a new color used in the second one than on the first one. But this is the entire thread pack from the first one, because we base our thread packs off of 14 count because the majority of you guys stitch that. So since the samples are on 36 count, this is like, I'm probably going to get the whole entire series from this. But back to the floss organizer. These are all the needles, right? So say if you didn't know what color, or you're doing like Shelly and you have a ton of DMCs and they kind of all look alike, you write your number or name. You could do your symbol if you wanted to. You would peel it off. I'm not going to do that here, but you peel off your sticker. You put it here on these slots.
Then there is like I would assume a foam, and you just stick your needle in there to the core. Oh, that's an empty needle. To the corresponding symbol that you use.
So Shirley uses something similar to this, except it's the opposite direction. So that's horizontal. The one she uses is vertical.
Right? Don't you stick up in here?
Mm-hmm.
Like you stick here.
Like a triangular shape.
Like a prism sort of thing. So yeah, so then you just, stick your needles all throughout, and you have your labels here. I use Kimberly's, the size 28 needles, just because I get, like, all of these are Kimberly's needles, and that one pack, I threaded all of them. So yeah, you would just stick them.
I could see myself just dropping that and stepping right on that. This week in my car, because we had to take a little road trip, 3 times people got out of the
Them up and reuse this again. So that's how you use a floss organizer. It's by Daria Makes, and then this is your pattern helper. Trying to think what pattern I can show without showing, because I don't have a free one, but
Why
I
don't you
can
just
just
do this one and just do like that?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's already done.
So this essentially, and it comes with instructions too of like how to use it, but it's essentially, it has 2 magnets. And say if you're starting, like this is your section here, you would just put it here. So your eye only goes to this corner. And then clearly your pattern would be open, and then you use these magnets to hold it in place. But that's what this is for. It's just essentially like your corner line keeper to keep you in line of where you're going.
Because when I saw the product, I thought it was one of the products you use to tell you where to start. So
You could.
thankfully Denise is on here, because I thought it was something totally different. I didn't realize that's what it was. And I think that Alicia and Denise came up with ordering this because I think somebody requested something from this vendor, and then we found more.
And yeah, so it tells you here in how to track your pattern, and then you can scan this QR code and it takes you to watch a video that she put together. So that is the pattern helper. I think this heart, maybe watch the video. I didn't. I think the heart is just for deco. Like, I don't think you read through that. And then this is your parking bobbins. If you have a piece that you're doing something that's dimensional, or not dimensional, that is full coverage, you can, and I don't have a thread currently in my piece, but you would put this parking bobbin like on the outside, like away from where you're stitching. You wouldn't cut your thread of where you're going. You would just carry your thread, wrap it around here, and park it.
So it keeps the thread
So it keeps
out of
the
way.
thread out of the way so that you can stitch your next color, because that way, like if you're doing scattered stitches around, and this I would assume is mainly for like those like full coverage that, you have a different color stitch in each section, rather than having to tie off your thread and then restart. This just allows you to keep your thread still anchored in your piece, but rather than having a ton of strands just hanging, you can just wrap them on here and it keeps it out of the way.
So I'm going to answer a question I think y'all are going to ask, but I don't think any of us in this room park.
No, not particularly. The only time I per se park is when I'm here, just to make sure I'm like double checking. I don't continue carrying that thread. I just get it to the part that I need to make sure I'm lined up, and then I leave that thread. Depending if I'm working in that section and it's getting in my way, then yeah, like one of these is helpful, because then I can just move it. But the traditional parking, no, I don't think any of us do. But
Do
yes.
the same that I think like you just said, like, let's see, like,
I was gonna
maybe
say,
one of Lori's.
right.
pieces, like the houses, the series of houses I've done. Of course, there's big blocks of color there, but if I had an area that I was stitching with a light green, say, and then no more stitches right there in that color, but 4 or 5, longer than I would want to carry, 4 or 5 rows down maybe, and I do some stitches in another color and get down to that point, rather than having that tied off.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like
I guess
run-
literally
yeah.
is parking, but leave that, then I can run it under those stitches and get to the point where I need to use that. If you're about to use a color again in just a few stitches, and that's not tying off.
Yeah, it's
Restarting with.
so it is beneficial, especially when you're working with a big design and you have those like random confetti stitches and stuff. Like it does make it helpful. So moving on, so that's everything from Daria Makes that we got. If you ever want to know how to use that, that's a brief overview. As for progress, I'm going to start with the 2 that, one sample stitching and one sew along that we're hosting. Both of these are by Lori Holt. So this is the Quilting Bee. This is the August shipment. I have already started this. Kimberly, this is, I'll kind of explain to you why I park. Or not park, why how my thing's threaded and how I know the colors already because I pretty much have them memorized. So this color right here is Chesapeake Bay.
Well, show your little bed and how you have it.
So I don't have a needle threader right now because I literally just did it last night. But here in this right here is Chesapeake Bay. The dark blue in here is Chesapeake Bay, and then the X right here is Chesapeake Bay. This is a strand that I'm working with. So when I have this threaded, I still have thread left. Like after I stitch this, I still have like half a strand left. So then I'll come down here and I'll use that. Well, then I still have strands. If I hadn't started this yet, I still needed to put Pebble Beach in. So I leave it threaded and I put it back on my needle minder. And then I'll do Pebble Beach. And then that way when I get here, I have Chesapeake Bay already on a needle and I'll use that very last bit of it. I try to use as much of my floss as I can. So that's why this is like a hot mess here. And I was literally working on this last night, so that's why it's messy. But this is the next, after June shipment, this will be the next one. All I have left, there's a quilt block here, another pair of scissors, 2 buttons, and then the border. The border I tend to save for last. I do check-in points, so I'll make sure that I'll like bring the border this weekend to kind of here to see if I am matching up. And if I am, I just put the border until the very end. It's very therapeutic because once you get the pattern down, it goes pretty fast. So hopefully by next week when I come back from vacation, this will be done. We'll see how much I actually get stitching on vacation. So that's one of the Lori pieces. The second one that I worked on is a stitch along we are hosting with Honeybee Garden. And for the first month, we were to complete this bee and the first 5 lines of the little beehive. And sorry y'all, I did not press anything today, so y'all get it exactly how it comes out of the bag. I am stitching mine on the called for color, which is Latte. Oh, that's the back, Lord. On Latte by Fiber on a Whim, but I am doing it on the 36 count Modena rather than a linen. So this is an even weave. So this is my progress. I hit my goal. I think we were, if I remember the dates correctly, by June 15th. We're supposed to have this section done, and then next month from June 15th to July, I don't want to say the date wrong, but it's sometime mid-July, we're to have the next section, which is 5 more lines of the beehive. So I'll take this on the plane because it'll be really quick. It's just 2 colors. that I'll switch out, but it was a very quick win for me. You know, you look at the stitch along is a whole year. It ends around this time next year. But because there is a lot of stitching, having a quick win and putting it in between projects that are very large, I feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. Even though it's the tiniest section, I feel happy. So that's my progress there. Make sure you use the hashtag honeybeegarden.sal, because in the milestone month, which is in 3 months, June, July, so August, I believe, is when we will do a giveaway, and we'll pick 2 winners who have posted their progress of that month, and you'll be entered to win a $75 gift card to Fat Quarter Shop. So all the details on that are on the blog and also on social media if you want to see all that. So that's Honeybee Garden. On personal stitching, June is Strawberry Moon Stitch Along. I am a sucker for a good stitch along where I can start new things. Even though I have too much already started, I love a good stitch along. So Strawberry Moon Stitch Along is hosted by Marjorie Stitches, and you pretty much stitch strawberry themed. If people here in the building know I love strawberries and cherries. So I started Strawberry Quilt by Primrose Cottage.
Is that your strawberry bag?
Oh yes, and of course I had to put it in my Strawberry Crush themed bag. I was planning to make more keeps or more of those thread keeps, but in this fabric, time definitely got away with surgery and everything. So here we are. I just threw everything in this bag. So I have my strawberry themed bag, and then this is what I consider my work bag. So any like model stitching that I'm doing here at FQS is in this bag, and it has a Hello Kitty charm. I think Alicia, you got me that you saw it somewhere. So yes, I'm also obsessed with Hello Kitty. Anyways, Strawberry Quilt progress. This is what I have done, and like I said,
fabric.
it is. Jordan, did you zoom in or am I? Okay, so this is the whole fat quarter. I did not cut it down. This is Dolomite by Fiber on a Whim. I just pulled from my stash. Honestly, I will give credit where credit is due. Jordan picked this fabric for me, so I was organizing my floss and trying to see if I had. This is all DMC, by the way. So I was trying to see if I had these skeins in my stash because I'm trying to shop stash first before I buy. So I told Jordan, now that I organized my sewing studio, I had said, all my fabric is there. Don't worry about count. Just pick a color. I want to try to match it as close to this pink as the cover. So he went through my stash, literally only had this color pink. So he's like, I think this will work. We did a floss toss. It is perfect with it. I am doing the called for DMC colors. I haven't changed any of that, but it is a very quick stitch. Also, I love a good repeat because like by the time I got here, I pretty much knew, you know, each stitch count. So this is 32 count even weave. I picked this up when we went to Nashville and I got a bundle. When I was checking inventory this week, I realized we purchased every other fabric but the even weave. We have linen, we have Aida. Your linen's gonna be the closest to this color. Your Aida may be a little bit darker, but I love how this pink turned out. I will continue doing this throughout June. I'm hoping to have it done, and then more than likely I will finish it in a pillow again, the way the model is. I was trying to think if there was anything on this that I thought of when I was stitching. Oh, I have not stitched with 2 strands in a while. I've been doing 1 strand most of the time. So every time I switch between this and a 1-strand piece, I always thread or start wrong. Like I started stitching this 1 strand and I'm like, what is going on? Like this doesn't look right. And I'm like, oh man, like I was supposed to have 2 strands. And then I started doing the Lori piece because I switched to that for one night. And I started with 2 strands, and I'm like, why do my stitches look thicker than the other ones nearby? And I'm like, oh my word, I'm supposed to do 1 strand. So that's the issue I run into when I have too many projects going, is I never know where I left off, or like how many strands I'm supposed to be working with. So this is 2 strands, 2 over 2. Oh, yes, you can definitely see the bag. I'm curious if you traveled between the strawberries and the snowflakes. So I did not.
Daisies.
Oh, daisies. So I have not. I've cut off between each one. When I get to this section right here where these 2 meet, which are in like this corner here, I will be traveling. This is a pink thread. This is a pink fabric. You're never gonna know. Now with this yellow here, which are the dots in between the flowers or daisies, I will tie off because that is, to me, a far jump. Now in between these 2, I'll jump between and not tie off between. It's like literally 3 stitches, so it'll be a total of 6. Is the mat where you are storing your working floss on a board, or is it just a pad? It looks like the binding is stitched on. So that is actually let me pull it out again. It is a tutorial that Kimberly and I did on our FlossTube channel. I want to say it's called a project portfolio. If you search, you'll find it. So it uses a stiff interfacing or a stabilizer, and then you sew on a vinyl pocket to the left, and then fleece to the right, and then your backing fabric becomes your binding, and then you have your own little portfolio. And then this is a magnet that you can, it's like a built-in needle minder that you can hold your needles. So there is a full tutorial on our FlossTube on how to make this. And this one doesn't have a snap. Half the time I just use my binding clip or Wonder Clip, because I always have one of these to hold my fabrics out of the way. And Shelly was like, you don't need a snap, just use your clip. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me put that back. So yeah, so that is Strawberry Quilt. Once I'm done with this one, I will work on the berry basket. So I already have my fabric picked out, and it's from that same release that Fiberona Whim did, and this is the stone color, also 32 count Lugana. So when I went, at Nashville, they always have like in their room a set of fat quarters like tied up of the new colors that they released. So I ended up grabbing the 32 count Lugana, assuming it, for whatever reason, I thought it was linen. And so that way we could come back to Texas and then show you guys the colors on stream, because we wouldn't have our shipment yet, but we had wanted for you to see the colors. So I ended up then just keeping this bundle in my stash. And so Jordan was also tasked to pick this one, and we thought it was a pretty close match to the front, and the blue, it also has like a blue tint to it, so I think the blues from the bird and the house will really match on it. So that will be my next progress. And then just for fun, for Teresa Kogut, oh my word, I had this piece started, and this is literally, y'all, how it's in my bag. Needle in some random spot, still in my hoop. I really don't take my stuff out of my hoop if I'm stitching about, 1 to 2 days. Now, if I'm putting this up and I'm not stitching it for weeks, yes, I'll take it out of the hoop. But I was stitching on this 2 days ago, and I plan to stitch on it tonight. But this is, Alicia, would you, Strawberry Waddles? It's a Teresa Kogut Patreon that she released like 2-3 months ago, and it has a goose and some strawberries. So I started stitching it in the called for colors. I don't have my iPad here to show you guys the cover of it, but if you're in her Patreon, you know. But I pulled this one out to get some progress in. So that is pretty much all my stitching. I don't know. On June 24th, we're set to come back and show all of our whips and kind of like a check-in of where we started back in January to where we're at now, pretty much like a mid-year whip parade, right? And I have every intention of knocking some of these out when I'm on vacation, but we're also going to Disney. So chances are I am going to be tired. So I don't know how much I'll get done.
Are we showing our finished stuff too?
Mm-hmm.
Or- okay.
Yeah, like of what we actually have finished, we'll show, and it'll be stitch finished. It may be framed, fully finished. It could be of like, oh, we plan to start this and we haven't gotten to it, or we put it aside. There's a lot of those pieces that I've done. So yes, we'll see how much progress I'll have when we come back on June 24th. But yes.
I won't be here June 24th, so I get extra time.
Yes, Cheryl emailed and she's like, oh man, I won't be here on the 24th. So yeah, I'll have a few extra weeks. I'm like, oh man, maybe I can use that as I'd say that too. But yes,
Can you explain the difference between linen and even weave?
yes, I have two pieces
Here's
here.
the linen here.
Alicia, actually, can you pull me those Luganas from Zweigart? Are those
yes.
are those even weave and Lugana?
This is Lugana, she said.
I guess linen, do you want?
Yes.
Yes. And then this is linen.
Okay. Jordan, will you zoom in? I'm gonna try to pick two that you can see. I do want to give in a pause. My nephews are watching. They're home from spring break, summer break, and so my brother-in-law was texting me information for like the flights and stuff, and then he sends a screenshot of Cheryl of her talking like on the camera, and I'm like, what are you doing? Are you watching? And they're like, yeah, the boys wanted to see you. I was like, oh my gosh, mortified. So okay, on my left is linen or Lugana, on my right is even weave. Oh my goodness. The left is Lugana or even weave. The right is linen. So with Lugana, the fibers, the weft and the warp, all the strands are even. So each one of your squares is going to have an even look to it. So think of this as your next step to Aida. So if you looked at your Aida fabric, each one of your fibers that create your squares are an equal distance to create a perfect square. Your linen, all your fibers are of different sizes. So if you look here, this strand is a little bit thicker than say like a strand over here. So your stitch that falls here is going to look thicker or wider than your strand that falls on, a strand over here. So that's essentially the difference between even weave and linen. Your even weave is exactly like the name says, the weave is even. Your linen will have that more vintage natural look. We usually recommend if you are starting with Aida and you want to stitch over two, we recommend to jump to an even weave because it's going to have that similar uniform look of your stitches, and it's easier to find your holes because you know exactly where you're going to. Once you get the hang of going 2 over 2, linen would be your next fabric to conquer, but you do not have to do that. You can honestly jump from Aida to linen if you want to. I have been known to do that. You can start at whatever count, whatever you desire. But if you're hesitant or you want to just try it, that's where your even weave you would start with.
And Denise, the Lugana, the linen is actual linen.
Oh, yes.
Linen fibers, Lugana is...
It's a
linen
blend
blended
of,
fibers.
so the fiber makeup, this is 100% linen, and then your even weave Lugana, I want to say it's cotton and rayon maybe,
Some
or
rayon or
some other makeup. So it's not an exact 100% cotton. We do list it on the site if you know, you're wanting to stitch on a certain type of blend, it's marked there of the percentage breakdown. Jordan, any questions before I pop off? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, Witchell is 25% off for the month of June at Fat Quarter Shop, and so a lot of the fabrics, there's a ton of them, and we're reordering daily. If it's in stock during the sale, then it qualifies. So we just wanted to bring some. So there are packages of Ada. These are all 14. These 3 are 14 count. This is 28 count, and these are 18 by 25 or 18 by 27. So they have lots of solid colors. And then if you buy it like this, that means we purchased it directly from them like this. Now, the yellow and the white on the label, it doesn't mean anything. We asked that years ago. And then these that come like this, we actually bought bolts and then subcut the fabrics down. So it's the same thing. These are generally not available in a package. So like this is 18 by 25. This one is 27 by 36, 27 by 36, 26 by 36. So we sometimes do these based on if a designer has a new pattern and it needs something bigger, or, you know, we need something for you guys to be able to stitch from. So that's a great opportunity to get those on sale. Each month we do have a cross stitch, either a manufacturer, we have something on sale cross stitch for the entire month. And so sometimes it's fabric, sometimes it's floss, sometimes it's patterns. And so this is a really good one this month. It's Witchell. And also our fig tree quilting patterns are on sale. And Alicia was like, oh, she actually has some cross stitch. So these are just some of Fig Tree's cross stitch patterns that are on sale this month. This one's super cute. And on this one, I think I had looked earlier and the bag pattern is not included. It's just the cross stitch pattern. So that's our sale items. We have new items. This is the new Denim Be in My Bonnet needle minder. I love the colors of it. Love, love, love it. And so I love the size of this one too. Sometimes the needle minders for me are a little too big. That's just a personal thing. Like I said, my needles kind of just go wherever. You can find them all over my house and all over my car. And it's funny really listening to everybody and how they stitch, because for me, when I'm done with the thread, I just put it in the trash because I don't want to have to try to remember where I was at, because I don't think my memory is that great. So it's just really interesting to see how everybody stitches differently. But I like a smaller size. There is no 14 count. Is there 14 count linen? No, it would be 28 count linen.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it would be 28. New Stitching with the Housewives, Life is Beautiful and Garden Time are part of the garden series. And if you want to see, there's some cute pictures of Priscilla she posted this morning. She is on her Alaskan cruise retreat. So I hope she's having a wonderful time. This is this morning, I think this is the one we loaded, Kitchen Roundabout Baker. I think that's super cute. And then Kiss the Cook. And then new from Pansy Patch, there's one new pattern. This is Patchwork House. So this is the one that Shelly showed earlier today. And then Croquet A Go-Go. I know I'm not saying that right. Stars and Stitches, and then 1776. And then there are some of her patterns that I think we showed earlier. They're on order. They're just not here yet. Some of the ones we had sold out. I think this one will be pretty popular. Actually, I think they both will. I like her paper too. Me and Denise have this thing with paper. And this is like, it feels like wax paper. It's so nice. And then Hello from Liz Matthews has 6 new patterns. Strawberry Sampler Fragment. Golden Sampler. Garden Rose, Glee's Sampler, Strawberry Sampler Reproduction. I think this one will be the most popular. And then Jane Allen Collection. So all of the Liz Matthews are all sampler based. Tiny Modernist has 2 new patterns, Mythical Tales and Spring Foliage Tree. Are you gonna stitch one of these, Shelley?
I really like the little dragons.
The dragons?
Yeah.
Okay, so Shelley might stitch the Mythical Tales. And then Madame Chantilly, Geese at Sea, and then Wild Roses Home. I love this one. I remember when I first started cross stitching.
I was gonna see if you would remember.
Yeah, I stitched something similar to this, and I really like this because, yeah, I don't know. I like the detail of all that. That's something. I wonder how big it is. Let's see. These are all from Italy. I'm gonna look and see what the stitch size is to see how. It's only 102 wide by 250 or so. I do like this. This is totally, I think this one would also be really pretty. You know, ombre is really kind of trending now. It's really coming back. It was popular about 12 years ago, and now it's really coming back. If you ombre the colors of the flowers, the colors of the rainbow, that would be really cool. Kira Lynn's Needle Arts, we have America Remembers, Signs of Freedom, and Sewn with Freedom. And one of her charts is sold out. It's on the reorder screen, so we're gonna order it. We've tried to order it from our distributor, but it hasn't come, so we're gonna order it direct. Hands on Design has 4 new patterns, and 3 of them have pin minis that come with them. So this is ABC, and then this is the pin mini mermaid shell by Just Another Button Company. Made in the Shade, and this is the Orange Fish solo pin. Hey Sam, and then this one has the Eagle solo pin. All of the Just Another Button Company pins are all made by hand, and it's a totally awesome process. We've got some videos on our quilting channel showing it, but these are all handmade with clay. And I happen to collect these, so I might have to buy some of these.
Real quick before you move to the next one, Madame Chantilly, are her patterns black and white or are they in color?
Or black and white.
Black and white. And then Home Sweet Home, this is so cute. I love this. So this one is a great value because you get 3 patterns that go with it. And I do see you guys, all your questions, I'm going to get to them after I show some new stuff. So this is, okay, Denise and I went to H&H. Well, Jocelyn also did. And we were walking by, and there was this Zweigart booth. And they had, at that booth, every piece of fabric they make on a wall. And it was draped. And so we found some fabrics that we really liked that we did not have. So we bought them by the bolt, and we're cutting them. So this is 25 count Lugana. This is green with white mini dots, and this is sand with white mini dots. And they're pretty big pieces, so you can see the size online. And then this is 28 count Cashel linen. So this is white with light blue mini dots, and then natural with white mini dots. I really, let me see that last one. I really like this color. And green is not usually my thing, but that's really pretty.
Very pretty.
It might look really good on that one that's in the car.
I know that's the one I was going to suggest, but it was 25 count.
I might take it
So
with me.
that's when I was like, I wonder if she would go for it.
Okay, I'm going to take that one with me. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. 28 count Cashel linen. And then 32 count Lugana. This is green petty point on white. Limestone, and then this is white petty point on light taupe. And I think we've had this one before, but I think we're cutting it in a different size. And this is printed on top. So when you put the can you scroll in, Jordan? Like when you put the needle in, you have to poke through that white a little bit. It's not hard, but I mean, you do have to like poke a little bit to get through that hole. And then 32 count Belfast linen, gray with white mini dots and green with green with white leaves. So this was fun, and I was super excited that Zweigart was there because Denise and I didn't realize, like I had never seen this piece before ever. And I think we might have a few more on order that just have not come, but I'm super excited to add to the Zweigart offerings. Also, while we were at H&H, we had both of these books a couple years ago, Cross Stitch for the Earth and Cross Stitch for the Soul. They're both by Emma Condon. She's Tiny Modernist, right? No. Stitchrovia. Okay, so we had these books a while ago, but our distributor we buy from no longer carried them, and they sold really well. So we found the company that basically is the direct place we can buy them from. So now we have them back, and they're all sayings. What do you call that? Like
Text? Script?
they're like mantras. There's a better word for it. But they're all text-based. And so excited to have these back because before I didn't know how to get to them. Like I didn't know how to order them. And then we also bought this one, Holiday Cheer in Cross Stitch. This one is more, it's kind of old-fashioned, it's leisure arts, but it has a lot of back stitching in it. But we don't really have anything. So it's very detailed, you know, very smaller stitching and lots of back stitch. But it was just something different, and I thought, you know, some people might want to do, you know, something like this for Christmas. I'm trying to find another one to show you. They don't have a lot of them stitched up. I think those are the only two stitched up in there I can show you. Okay, and then now I'm going to show you first. Okay, show the front camera, Jordan, if you can. Okay, so when we went to spring break, the last day we went back and we flew out of Reno, and there's a store there called,
I always forget.
I always forget. Jimmy Bean's Wool. So Kevin was like, oh, we can go there. So we went. Funny story, I have 16-year-olds. They're not children. They are teenagers. They are almost grown. We got out of the car. We thought we left the car on. They just sat in the car the entire time. And I was like, you know, you realize you could have walked in the thing and told us to turn the car back on. But they didn't. And I was like, I don't know how y'all are going to do when y'all move out. Like, hello, it's hot. Anyway, I found inside that store these Della Q bags, and I really like them. So I actually bought this that day. Now we sell it. This, what's this one called?
Snap.
Oh, Snap. And so I'm going on a plane in a few minutes. Probably need to leave soon. This one zipper, you can see. This is, I'm testing some stuff for Lori's book. So that's in there. And then in here, this is something,
Oh my god.
my needle, sorry. My hook. So this is something new I started last week, I think. So Betty McKnit, she has a sew along every year, and it's called the 6-Day Crochet Challenge or something, and you can get the pattern for free on her site with all the ads on it, or you can buy it. So I bought it. I am using Cirrus Rainbow. So if you search Cirrus Rainbow, we ordered all the colors. They're not all in stock yet. That's why I wasn't going to show you guys yet. But the one I'm using is Alaskan June. And then the one in her pattern is like a rainbow color. And so Alicia ordered that. And it's supposed to use 6 skeins, but I'm already more than halfway done, and I've only used 2. So anyway, that's just something fun. I'm taking that with me on the plane because it's easier to do on a plane than cross stitch. I don't have to get my light out as, like I don't have to put on all my glasses and stuff. So I'm hoping that'll be finished on Monday. Like, you know, I need to add more. Anyway, this was in my downstairs, but I wanted to show you that's how we found these bags. But then when we went to H&H, we found some others. These are much more expensive, but they're more like a travel bag. So they have actual handles. They have, let's do the top now, sorry. This is like leather. There's handles that attach right here. So this is more of a, oh, and this is the white TL Yarn Craft. She, if you want to learn how to crochet, she has 1 million followers. She's totally awesome. So this is her bag that she, because this is the color, that's what they told me at the booth, the color that she likes. So this one is similar. This one is just a bag with no handles. It's much less expensive. And then this one is more like a tote bag. It will actually sit up on its own. And it comes in 2 colors. So these are called Maker's Mesh Totes. This is vivid and this is teal. So those are exactly the same. And then there's this other one that I really love. I might take it with me on my trip because, you know, I just need to spend more money. That's all I need to do. Rainbow Bloom Maker's Mesh Tote. This one I love. Okay, so when you open it, these are in here. They're cubes, and this little part comes out. So this just goes in here like this. So I didn't know what these were. Denise actually had to tell me. So that's how it comes in there, comes down. But if you want this to be something like when you're on the plane and you want it to sit up, you put these 2 cubes in the very bottom and then your skeins can go in there. And it has the little handle.
And it comes with scissors,
The
right?
scissors.
Where's the scissors?
They're in here.
Oh!
Those come with scissors too.
Oh, I didn't even know. Let's see. I had no idea. Oh, cute. They're little sharp scissors too. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and they.
So let me see. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's probably why they're more expensive too. The handles and the scissors. And then Denise reminded me, inside this bag, there was another bag. Where that bag is right now, I have no idea. It's probably in my house somewhere. But this one would be good because if you were on the plane, you could just pull. But this is the one that I was going to take. Those are both by Della Q. And so we have shown some of the other bags, like when we first got them after my trip. And then those are the new ones that we found that Denise and I liked at H&H that we didn't have. Okay, I'm going to go through all the questions. Can't find Haven cross stitch on the blog. When does it start? July. So just speaking of that, a lot of fabric is delayed right now. So there was a delay from the port, no, not from where it originally overseas leaving there. There was a huge delay. So there's all kinds of delays from one company and it's, you know, totally out of their control. The Quilting Bee sewing machine, what thread color did I use for the dots? Do you have that one in here? That's not.
It's in the.
I'm going to look and see, because I can't remember. Once the houses on Stitchery Lane is finished, will there be a complete pattern package? Yes. Denise, you need to show us your Lori Holt applique project bag and do a tutorial. Okay, so what she did with that is she took the free, what's it called? There's a Be Sweet.
Yeah.
It's a pattern by Lori Holt, that little circle. It's a pattern. It's free. You do need the Sew Simple shapes. So she had the Sew Simple shapes and then she just glued it down, no applique stitches around it, and she just did a simple bag. But she can maybe she can go into detail. Maybe you could bring the, no, it wouldn't be the next one because the next one we're just going to do
it'll be
whips,
in
but we
July.
can do it in July and she can tell you more. On this one, oh, okay, I remember now, George. Okay, so on this one, in the inside, I used whatever color this is, which I think is St. Bernard.
I
Pretty
think
sure.
it was Chesapeake Bay.
Oh,
Saint Bernard.
Chesapeake Bay and St. Bernard. So on the original pattern, the inside dot was this same color that's supposed to be out here, which is a yellow, which is onion skin, something, or green onion, something like that. I just put the same as the sewing machine. And one thing I did do is I tested a couple of stitches of white. I did a couple of different colors to see before I made that decision.
I'm pulling it up to make sure.
Okay, Denise is checking. Even though it's not full coverage, you're not really stitching over every square. I'm not sure what that's referring to.
In regards to the stitch count, correct. There are some stitches or some like pieces in your grid that you're not stitching. So if it doesn't have a symbol, then you don't stitch it, but they still include that in your count.
Yeah, and like one thing that I do, because I have, when I'm doing stuff, I'm not just doing it. I'm always thinking that my mind doesn't ever stop. So when I take a DMC or Classic Colorworks and I put it in half, I can get exactly 98 stitches if I do the row method, which is what I call how I do it.
Yeah.
I count every stitch as I stitch because that's just, my mind is very like, I don't know, I can't relax. That's just something. And also like ADD, like soothes. Anyway, so that I know from every strand I can get that. Now, do I count it every time? Yes. And then I get mad if I only get like 80.
It was Chesapeake Bay and St. Bernard.
Okay, so this is Chesapeake Bay and St. Bernard. I noticed with my last delivery of Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works, they're coming close to the end of the alphabet. Do you have plans to continue the club?
Yes.
Yes. Denise will add that to her July and describe what she's going to do because she runs that. What was the Jolly Tree Farm stitched on? Can I see it? It's,
Is it pale gray gingham?
Yes.
oh, it's pale gray gingham, but let me show you so you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm covering it. So you can barely see it. Yeah, you can barely see that pale gray gingham. So a white would be fine too.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of the quilt behind me?
Quarter quiche.
Fat quarter quiche. And that fabric is delayed. That's one of the fabrics that's delayed. The pattern and video is out now. Hopefully the fabric will be coming any day, but that is one of the collections that has been delayed for about 2 months. I wonder if there's a way to only cross stitch from the front. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you would.
If
You would do the pin stitch like the way
Pin stitch.
or a pin stitch, or do the loop method like Shelly showed,
and then just
and then you would do the
scoop.
sewing method, and then you would tie off though in the front. Like you can, and there are people that only stitch from the front, but or like only work from the front.
Front. The border with the stars and bobbins is cute. So that was in Shelly's section. So that is a free border. You find that on Pansy Patch's website. Great project, Shelly. Sorry if I misspelled your name. You spelled her name almost correct. Chelle. And I used to think her name was Shell. I didn't know. Like, yeah.
Well, it's Michelle, so I answer to both. Michelle.
Oh.
What's her name?
My name is Michelle. My mom from day one called me Shelly with a C. And so
Okay.
Shell makes sense when you look at how it's
Yeah.
spelled. So yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we truly appreciate you being a customer at Back Quarter Shop and watching. And then thank you to all of my Stitchy staffers, Denise, Alicia, Shelly, and Cheryl for showing all of their amazing projects. I love listening to them because everyone's mind works differently, and it's so funny when I hear them talk about how they do their stitching. I'm like, that's exactly how they do their work. So it's very interesting, like if you're somebody who's interested in like psychology or like just how minds work, because the way that I stitch is so different than everybody else. And it's just a reminder to all of you guys, stitch however you want. Who cares? Do whatever you want. Like, don't worry about how everybody else does it. I think a lot of like our hobbies is just, you know, do what you enjoy. And I'm excited. Now, I will tell you, since I got the email from Denise that I need to be done in two weeks, let me tell you, my hands are going to be busy because when I come on here, I want to have very few stitched whips. What do you call that? Work in progress. I don't want to have any of those. I want to have a bunch of stitched finishes. So we're going to see how fast I can go. I will say lately, I've been stitching so much that I have been getting pricks in my finger because it's, yeah. I pull really hard and I really So yeah, I've had to stop a couple of times. Like after 8 hours of stitching one day, I had to stop. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to stop, but I kind of had to. So anyway, have a great 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And thanks again for watching.